Well, hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to round number 3 of the North American Grand Prix Formula Lotus Monday Night Championship, coming to you live tonight from Zandvoort in the Netherlands, I believe, somewhere in that area. And before we go any further, Brad Maris is back with me this week after my little hiatus last couple weeks ago with some issues. But whatever, Brad took over, took care of me. Brad, you're back.
Yeah, good to be here, Al. It seems like it's been longer than 2 weeks since that checkered flag fell out there at Monaco, but I'm glad to be back. I know the drivers are glad to be back, too, and a hell of a circuit we got coming up here tonight. These guys are going to have to be on their toes, Al.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a great event here. I know you covered last week's race. I'm going to keep saying last week, so I'm just going to stick with it. But I know you covered last week's race at Monaco, and Luis Nieto pulling out the win there. But I'll tell you what, this is just as much as a challenge as you mentioned. This circuit is a bit tricky. 13 corners. About a little over 2.5 miles, 4.3 kilometers. I forgot to load up the track map. I'm all rusty, so you have to take our word for it.
Well, that absolutely sounds about like the right length, Al, and you're right. Just every bit as tricky as Monaco out here at Zandvoort, though perhaps not with the same type of chance of a sudden race-ending injury to these drivers, but yeah, very big, steep challenge, and a couple new drivers out there on track too. So that's going to be some fun times here for the next hour or so.
Yeah, we do have a couple new guys who have joined the fray here this week and going forward, and so we look forward to that. Luis Nieto currently after win last week, currently 4th in the championship, but overall leading the championship so far, Brad, is Aaron Parsons. He's come off a couple good finishes. Had that win in the first round and a 4th at Monaco a couple weeks ago, but not, looks like he's taken to this wheel combination for season 29 pretty handily. He is not struggling like we have seen from him in the last couple seasons.
No, he's taken to the Lotus like a duck to water, I guess you could say, and it has been working out extremely well. He raves about the car every time I happen to chat with him, so it's obviously working out very good for him and his teammate John Houston as well. Both those guys, once again, running very strong and in contention for that team championship. Though it be early days, they're happy.
So we're on board with Aaron Parsons as he makes his way through the first sector here. Very tricky first sector, Brad.
Oh, it sure is, and a lot of patience required there on those first couple corners, and coming around here around turn 3 as well, so that left-hand corner is going to give you, you want to get a lot of traction off of there to try to get some good momentum coming up this hill, and then the track becomes pretty nuanced and pretty technical, so you can really take some chances coming in here to this right-hand sweeper, perhaps hang the rear out a bit on this Lotus 72D, depending on how many chances you want to take. And a couple nasty little right-handers here. Now all these braking zones here, this right-hander, the next left coming up, all of them really want to suck you in, generates a lot of understeer on the front end, particularly on this Lotus 72D. Not a lot of traction to be found there underfoot, but you want to be as smooth as possible, try to carry as much momentum as you possibly can, coming up here to turn 10 and 11 to the hairpin. Also another corner that really wants to suck you in late under braking, particularly if you're trying to get the jump on somebody, trying to pick up that position. We can see some action there for sure. And the last couple corners, really not any easier than any of the other ones around here. So again, low-speed traction event. Front end really wants to go around, and perhaps these guys will be having a bit of a lift coming into the final corner before they can really get on full power coming down the main straight to the finish line.
Parsons going to check in with the 37.5, so that's best for him this session. We got an updated broadcast app for this week, Brad, and as you can see, some personal bests popping up there in the bottom, so you can click on the drivers' names here, and there we go. It'll show all the drivers' best laps.
Wow.
So nice,
what a
cool,
useful.
cool
Oh
feature.
yeah. Yeah, and 10 times cooler had I remembered to download it and install it.
Well, that's on you. All right, well, taking a look at the timing here, it is currently Chris Moses. Ooh, we had a little contact there between Parsons and somebody. But it is Chris Moses currently leading the session with a 36-2. His teammate is in second. Both these guys carrying some success ballast here for tonight's race, Brad.
Yeah, so Chris Moses carrying a solid 25 kilograms. Let's not forget Aaron Parsons down there in fourth. 40 kilograms of success ballast. Holy cow. Well, we'll see what kind of effect that has, but so far not too bad for Aaron Parsons there, provisionally fourth.
Moses, purple, personal best. So he sets a personal best, 35.9. Best of the session so far. Luis Nieto clocking in with a 36.5. Joe LaCour now up to fourth, so these times quickly popping up here this session.
We did see a bit of a gap there, I'd say, in that official practice session. Saw 5 or 6 or 7 drivers there with some pretty good times, and a bit of a gap there, second or two, perhaps back to the next. We'll see how it shakes out in qualifying if those gaps stay close.
On board with Ian Joe LaCour. Using a lot of throttle to get that rear end to come around.
Yeah, and that is one way to make these cars quick, particularly around this place. But boy, you have to really stay on top of what you're doing, or else you can lose these cars very quickly.
Joe LaCour, is behind in the first sector by 4/10. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
And real quickly, we'll get into some of the strategy coming up here in a bit, but you know there is going to be some strategy on this track. Tire issues are going to be a little problematic. We'll touch on that here in a bit, I'm sure.
So Joe LaCour is going to back out of it. Kevin Miller showing some good pace here tonight, currently up to 7th. Had a good finish last couple weeks ago at Monaco. Greg Myers has best result of the season, also at Monaco. He's currently in 9th. And one thing about Greg, I know he's putting in a lot of track time for this race here tonight, so that's good to see. Luis Nieto just sets his personal best. He's up to 4th with a 36.7. So I suppose is currently the only person in the 35s. Everybody else, 36, 37s are in the top 10 for the most part. Times quickly coming down here. John Watson currently in 11th. He had a good finish at Monaco.
Yeah, he did, and I'm sure you caught it, Al, but Jonathan Cuppett slides up there provisionally to 2nd.
Oh, Cuppett! Yes, he takes it off into the weeds, so hopefully... Wow, what a great lap by Cuppett. So I noticed Ronnie Nunez had a DNF at Monaco. Brad, any details as to what happened to him in that race? As he's currently in 7th.
Well, I tell you, it was a pretty big mistake, but it was one he admitted was pretty much all on his own. He just made a mistake as he was running around with his teammate, and they were extending the lead, and he simply caused a lot of damage to the car. Had to retire it, and that was only 5 or 6 laps in, so that race ended very early there for Ronnie Nunez. But he will have to go into recovery mode here tonight. Look to salvage some big points.
Yeah, they're going to need a good finish as PMR, Moses, and Matt Taylor. That team is quickly jump out to a 12-point lead over T-Brock Danby and Monty Python in 3rd in the team championship. So definitely still in the hunt here, but DNF's
Monty Python's.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Al. Monty Python's racing, of course, was saved by, of course, Nunez's teammate there, Luis Nieto, coming away with that win at Monaco. So that helped them out tremendously. Yeah,
some of these top teams are really. see guys finish as DNF. And so consistency definitely is key. As last season's PMR, who won last season, both drivers completing every lap in last season's championship. So the dominating team championship last season, but that's when you're up against that kind of consistency, it's tough to take a DNF.
I tell you that, I know we have our qualifying going on here tonight, and I've mentioned it before, but that was just such a dominating team victory. I think that was by far, and we've seen some dominating teams around here over the course of 2019. I think, honestly, that was the most dominating team victory we have seen.
Following newcomer for Monday night, Kevin Kirkbride. It looks like he's on an out lap, but in the number 9 Lotus liveried car, so let's jump on board with him. Put the pressure on here.
Yeah, Kevin's showing some very nice time. Sorry, Al, there in practice.
Yeah, I did notice that. He was definitely showing some competitive times. Got a little bit of traffic up ahead. Caught out there a little bit. Still plenty of time for him to get a lap in. David Rowley is back after missing the first couple of races. He's currently in the pit lane, qualified in 20th. So Rowley yet to set a time here in this session. Matt Taylor has now jumped up to the second position behind his teammate. It's Moses, Taylor, and Cup at 1, 2, and 3. Kevin Savoy now up to 4th. Lee Wren setting his best. Good enough for 12th.
Yeah, good enough for 12th, but only 12th. Marty Uren typically runs pretty darn well here at Zandvoort. We've seen in the past seasons around here in all different types of cars. So I would have to say Marty, perhaps not quite up to the type of speed he'd like.
Deal with a little bit of traffic. The Savoy is just disconnected. But yeah, I've been off for a couple weeks here, Brad. I'm a little rusty myself here, so trying to get everything together here, and if our staggering viewership numbers really plummets, then we can be upset. Yeah.
But other than that, my friend,
should be all right.
Other than that, we'll cut you some slack this week. Yeah.
Well, we make all of our ratings with the on-demand crowd, so post race. So
right.
That's when we get our numbers. So we're following Moses here on board in the first sector, 2/10 off, as Nieto now has jumped up to 3rd. So Cuppett slipping down a little bit here. Nieto for a little under half a second off provisional pole.
Boy, and that 135.9 by Moses is looking better and better all the time as the time continues to click off here now. So nearly only 10 minutes to go in this session. I mean 12, but basically. So running a little short on time here.
Moses up in the second sector. So he's got a good lap going here.
I just switched over to him on board, and he came off the chicane in very nice shape. But these last couple corners don't make it any easier for you. Very difficult to hit them right, and they do count toward quite a bit of your overall lap time. You got to hit those two pretty darn well if you want to hit your best lap.
He improves to a 35.5. Wow, picked up a lot of time in that final sector. It's a great lap from Moses, his teammate. Comes across the line. He does. Taylor actually did improve, 36 flat. The PMR guys really putting on a display here tonight. Cuppet now, he's improved. Look at those lap times, 36.4. I believe Nieto might have disconnected, so he's probably going to be jumping back in.
Still show Luis Nieto still on track, so I think he's still in there.
Great to see Jonathan Cuppet here putting on a good show.
Oh, it sure is. Yeah, that 36.4 is no joke.
7/10 off in sector 2, so he's a little bit better than on his, a little bit up on his personal best here in this session. There's Nieto. He may have enough here to eclipse Nieto here for third. Let's see how Cuppet does here as it comes to the line.
Track a bit.
And he improves.
Oh!
36.2, great lap from Cuppet. Yeah.
Boy, it really is. I mean, this is no joke here. Luis Nieto, Kevin Savoy, John Houston, Ian Jolicoeur, Aaron Parsons. I mean, sitting ahead of all those guys here with still 10 minutes, under 10 minutes to go.
Savoy with a little bit of a mistake. On board now with John Houston.
Yeah, as we watch John Houston come around here through the chicane, just looking through time and scoring here, I'm seeing Ronnie Nunez on the hards, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. He was certainly off the pace there with the 37 flat for him. They're sitting P9, but Ronnie Nunez on the hards for some reason.
Houston to the line. And he improves to a 36.5, so Houston in 6th. Down here to Jolicoeur, currently in 7th. Jolicoeur looks like he's got a good lap going. He did. Bit of a butcher shop there in the chicane.
Yeah, the chicane will cost you a bit of... Oh, that's what's going to hurt right there. Yeah. That'll cost some time.
That lap might have been good enough for third for Jolicoeur. He pulls it into the pit lane. They have another shot.
That's a tough pit lane too. I'm glad Ian was able to demonstrate that for us.
Championship leader Aaron Parsons, currently in 8th. Carrying 40 kilograms of ballast. Ooh, he's got some traffic up ahead of him.
Yeah, and sorry, Alan. And to be fair, that carries over. You're supposed to have a bit of weight from a couple weeks ago at Monaco, which didn't get applied or something happened, and so I think he's carrying a little extra here tonight, which is the reason why he has so much. Ordinarily, it wouldn't be quite as much.
Lithgow now up to 7th with the personal best. So yeah, Parsons didn't have his weight for qualifying. There was someone joined the server and was not registered on the server list, so he didn't have his weight for qualifying. So he's carrying it for this qualifying session. He did have it for the race, though, but for this session he is gonna carry it. And he'll go back to his 20 kilograms of ballast for the race. So he backs out of it. Kevin Kirkbride, we talked about him earlier on. He has qualified currently in 11th, which is not too shabby there. Ahead of Marty Uren, Greg Myers.
Yeah, placed ahead of some heavy hitters for sure. And those were about the practice times that we saw Kevin putting in. So he is about on that same pace. So I know that he has put in some laps for this event in preparation of his NAGP debut, and looking pretty sharp, it has to be said, Al.
Okay, it looks like he's on an outlap as Nieto goes to second ahead of Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor on a flyer here, 3/10 off provisional pole. Nieto 35.9, so the second guy in the 35s.
Ronnie Nunez now on the softs. So I would expect to see him improve from his provisional 10th place here, but just 5.5 minutes left to go.
So no improvement for Taylor. He got a little wide there at the exit of the final corner, so I'm not sure what happened to him there. But yeah, Nunez has yet to, well, he has set a time, but he is well back at 21st. He is coming around right now to start a lap. And he's moved up to 10th, so stay on Ronnie.
Yeah, I would expect to see more improvement. I wonder if this isn't a deal where Ronnie needed some extra laps on the hards, maybe to try out some race setup strategy or something, and he figured, well, I'll go ahead and hit him as hard as I can here in the last few minutes of qualifying. I suspect maybe that's what was going on. Yeah, John, I'm not sure about that. That third sector was looking pretty stock there from Old Moses. It looked very clean.
Nunez, the 10th off in the first sector. Down 8/10 in sector 2 here. Ooh, we got a car looking the wrong way there at the chicane, but didn't seem to impede Nunez here.
Definitely had a bit of a lift coming through the last corner, but it's looking pretty clean. I just don't know if it's looking fast or not.
And he improves to a 37 flat, so yeah, Nunez bit off the pace here tonight, Brad. Savoy has a good lap going.
Well, this is when Savoy is at his most dangerous here in the closing laps of qualifying. Boy, Chris Moses just really laid down that gauntlet there at that mid-35. Luis Nieto barely into the 35s, but other than that, no one able to challenge for that pole position just yet.
Interesting to see some of the lines guys take through turn 9, corner before the chicane. Guys really get out, swing out wide, others keep it tight. Wow, 5/10 off in sector 2, so this is going to be a great lap.
Yeah, not surprising, as we had chat mentioned, John Luden in chat mentioned that third sector by Moses looking very strong, so I think it will be tough to really challenge for that pole position, but we'll see.
Savoy to the line with the 36.3, so Savoy improves, and he is in 5th. Actually, I don't think he picked up any positions there. Nieto up in the first sector. Oh! Takes a wheel on the grass and loses the rear end. Oh, that's a tough break. He's going to have time, though. He's going back out.
One more lap.
Nunez with the 36.8. So Ronnie now up to 8th. Dispatches Parsons down to 10th.
Wow, watching Nunez trying to come out of the pits here with lap track. Oh, Nunez is done.
He's done. Some questions on the chat about Kevin. He's not carrying weight tonight. He'll carry weight if you join after the 3rd race of the season. So he is weightless. As Houston now improves, he jumps up to 4th. Great lap from John Houston. 36.2. Wow, these times are really falling for some of these guys. As we're following Matt Taylor. Taylor with a good first sector, a little behind in sector 2.
Yeah, it's going to be Matt's last attempt. Now, this driver, you know, kind of led the way for that team last season. This time around, it's Chris Moses out front of the teammate Matt Taylor leading the way. So Matt
Taylor to the line. He does not improve.
No.
Cuppett, though, has got a good lap going. Only 2/10 off at sector 2.
I don't think so, Gep.
What is Cuppett got here at the line? What a lap, 36.229. He improves. Oh, Jolie Core sneaks up there, up to 4th.
Wow.
And Moses not able to improve, but he's... Well, Nieto on a flyer here. This counts.
Well, I think this will be a put it in the wall or get pole type of lap if you're Luis Nieto right now. It looks like he's going to have second place locked up. Ooh, taking some big chances over that curbing. I bet that is not part of his regular line.
He was even in the first sector. Tenths off in the second split, so he's going to have a dynamite final sector here to make up.
It's so easy to push. So easy to over push in those last 3 corners, that last sector, particularly if you're on a good lap, because you want to try to maximize it. So it's very easy to make mistakes there when you're really trying to get on the limit.
So Nieto to the line, he doesn't do it. Oh, wow. There you have it, Brad. Chris Moses making his first pole of the season, 35.5.
Yeah, extremely impressive lap. I have to say I'm pretty impressed there with Ian Jolicoeur and Jonathan Cuppett kind of slotting late to pick up a couple of spots there themselves. So knocks John Houston to 6th, Kevin Savoy to 7th, and of course everybody else down 1 too. But yeah, very impressive qualifying there by Chris Moses. I think that his race pace should be pretty strong too, Al.
That's pole time with 25 kilograms of success ballast, so carrying the most weight out of everybody in the field. So very impressive time. The top 3 drivers, all 3 of them carrying weight. So very interesting. So we got about 5 minutes left here before we roll off, start this race. And I'm going to take a quick rundown of the championship standings here in the Formula Lotus here on Monday night. So Aaron Parsons leading the way currently with 40 championship points, followed closely by Chris Moses with 38. Moses' teammate Matt Taylor with 36. Nieto with 35. And then in 5th, it's Ian Jolicoeur with 23. So the top 4 are very close. Team Championship Precision Motor Racing with 74. That's Moses and Matt Taylor. In 2nd, Deep Rock Dam Bam, John Houston and Aaron Parsons with 62. Monty Python's Racing's in 3rd with 55 points. That's Luis Nieto and Ronnie Nunez. SL Racing with 31 points. And Kung Fu Racing with 28. That's Marty and Ian Jolicoeur. So it's going to be 35 laps here tonight at Zandvoort. And I'll tell you what, Brad, it's going to be... I know Monaco was a true test, but this circuit is really difficult for some guys.
Well, it's difficult, and really adding to the challenge tonight, touched on it a little earlier, are going to be some of the tire issues. There are going to be some multiple strategies out here tonight, so there's going to be two options. You can start on the softs and take 2 stops, or you can take the hards and go for a single stop. So it's looking like I did some recon laps on the softs, had them hold up about 10, 11, 12 laps. That's about all you're going to get out of them, and that's the distance that you need to go, of course, if you want to run 35 laps. So the hards, you can go ahead and get away with a half race length for your 1 tire stint. But it's who knows how it's going to play out, because there is quite an advantage for the guys that are going to be on softs in terms of lap-to-lap pace. Now, little birdie told me there in the pits that Moses likely is going to be starting on those hards, and we have confirmation now as I look through times and scoring, he is on the hards. So there's going to be some fast guys behind, perhaps, that have some pace on the guys with the hards in front of them. It's up to them to try to make the passes, make them stick, pick up the time, because they're going to be losing that extra time and taking that extra pit stop. So it's going to be very interesting to see tonight. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on the tire situation and how it plays out.
Yeah, so it looks like right now Moses and Nieto are going to be starting on the hards. Matt Taylor looks like he's on the softs with Joe LaCour, Coppett on the hards. So bit of a mix there, Brad, in this grid. Guys on softs, a lot of them. It's pretty evened out here as to strategy. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out.
Yeah, and this is the first time that we've really seen such a variety, a mix of these types of strategies playing out. And we saw Aaron kind of steal one with the 2-stop strategy early in the season, due a little bit to Nunez running out of fuel, but nonetheless, this is going to be an interesting race, and it'll keep the drivers on their toes, it'll keep us on our toes, and hopefully it'll make for some damn fine viewing.
So I know some guys like to play the game here. Some guys, before they grid up, will show one particular tire and then switch right at the last second, try and get others to make a change. We'll have to see what happens here.
The games are afoot.
So we got about 1 minute to go here before we go green. So what's your prediction here tonight, Brad?
Oh boy, that this is a tough one to call. You know what? I like Luis Nieto starting on the hards here. Moses is as well. Oh crap, Al. I don't know. How about I'm going to go for John Houston for the win.
Wow, bold prediction. Well, I think Moses may have the field covered here tonight. The weight might be a factor, but I think he just may pull it out. As long as he can stay out of trouble, he should be all right. So the lights have come on. Lights are off, and we are away. Round 3. As Moses is going to lead the field into turn 1. Nieto. Wow, taking it deep into turn 1. And it's going to be Nieto and Joe LaCour out into the lead at turn 1. What a start from Ian. Wow. What a tremendous start from Ian. It's Joe LaCour, Nieto, Moses, followed by John Houston up to 4th and Savoy in 5th. Really good start so far throughout the field. I don't see any incidents, Brad.
No, it's looking good so far, Al. It's looking great.
Moses looked really conservative going into turn 1, bro. Really early. I think he got caught off a little bit by those two guys taking it deep into turn 1. But it paid off for Joe LaCour and Nieto, and now Moses under some pressure here from John Houston early in this opening lap. Yeah, good point there from Gup Douglas. It looks like those soft tires might have paid off there for Joe LaCour. Jumping up into the lead.
They're paying off now. You know, the question is, are they going to pay off over the course of the race?
Matt Taylor has fallen back to 7th, so tough start for Taylor. Lithgow in 8th. Parsons back in 11th. That's the ooh, we got somebody off here in the back. Oh, looks like that was Kevin Kirkbride. He has fallen back to 20th, so he didn't catch it here. So heard him go off. Joe LaCour quickly running away with this one. Joe LaCour and Nieto pulling away from the pack as Moses languishing a little bit, and he is under some intense pressure here from John Houston at the start of this race.
Well, I tell you, more concerning, I think, right now is Luis Nieto jumping out there. He is on the hards, so Chris Moses giving the time now to Luis Nieto while he is on both of them on the hards. That is a bit concerning to Chris Moses, I think, if you're him at this moment.
Ronnie Nunez under some pressure from Matt Taylor. That's for 5th.
Kevin Savoie also out has plummeted through the field. Didn't see what happened there. So Kirkbride and Savoie, 19th and 20th.
On board with Matt Taylor trying to chase down Ronnie Nunez.
Boy, this is exactly the type of start Ronnie Nunez and that team needed after Houston buried back in the pack a bit.
Houston on the inside of Moses into 1. And he makes it stick, so Houston now up to 3rd. Moses falling back to 4th. So PMR early on here. The odd guys out. As both those guys dropping positions here early in this one. Joe LaCour quickly out to a 1-second gap over Luis Nieto. A little further back after Taylor's a bit of a gap, and then you got Kevin Miller, Oscar Lithgow, Jonathan Cuppett. Cuppett's falling back a little bit, and Parsons. Really tight battle here.
Boy, and I tell you, as tight as it looks, it is even tighter from the cockpit as these guys try to sling these 72Ds around here right on the limit. I tell you, these are this is some pretty heady stuff these guys are going through right now.
You guys are enjoying, anybody out there watching for the first time, this is, as Brad said, over 72Ds, no aids, no traction control, no ABS, no nothing, just your foot, clutch, gas, brake. That's it. And a shifter if you got it. We're on board
so
here with Parsons. Sorry, Parsons in 10th, chasing down Cuppett. It's a good battle here. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
No, we have more exciting battles to watch. I'll come with my updates at a more opportune time. Battle much more important.
Parsons having a look on the inside of Cuppett. Not going to get that done. Houston now got a 1.5 seconds over Chris Moses after making that pass.
Yeah, Houston softs and Jonathan Cuppett hards. Aaron Parsons behind there in 10th with the softs.
A little further back, Marty Uren now under some pressure from John Wathen. This is battle for 11th. On board with Wathen. Bit of a push there from Wathen. Gathers it back up.
Boy, tough battle here, but as mentioned, Marty Uren, very good at this track typically, so we should expect to see him make some inroads on the field. Hasn't happened quite yet.
Man, what an incredible battle here between Cuppett and Parsons. Parsons has made his way past Jonathan Cuppett, so Parsons now up to 9th, and he's putting a lot of pressure on Lithgow.
Parsons is trying to reel in Oscar Lithgow here in, this is the battle for 8th. So we've got to commend these guys, this opening lap, very, especially through this first sector here that these guys are at right now, very tough here in the opening lap. Especially in these cars, going side by side through here. These guys did a great job, great to see.
Yeah, it really is. There wasn't much time for kind of feeling out and getting the car settled underneath you and working into a rhythm. It was dropping the green flag and time to go to work for these drivers, and they are still doing it out there.
Especially after not racing for 3 weeks for the most part. Ooh, rally out. Parsons with a look. Ooh, cup it with a moment. Parsons had a look on the inside of Lithgow. I just love the overcorrection and opposite lock. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal. You can make some extra time with these cars, particularly at this track. Some of the corners really favored throwing the rear end and getting it right, but to get it wrong, it'll cost you quite a bit of time or maybe more. So, once again, that is Aaron Parsons, Oscar Lithgow on the hards.
Bit of a moment there for Lithgow. Parsons may have a look here into one. No, looks like Lithgow might be running a little less wing than Parsons here. Or it could be the weight.
Yeah,
most likely the weight. Ooh, a little contact between Parsons and Lithgow. I think Lithgow caught a little bit of that inside curbing and kind of caught out as, who was that? Somebody, that was Cuppet going off there. But I think Lithgow caught a little bit of that inside curbing and slowed him up a little too much there for Parsons. Couldn't check up in time.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that assessment, Al. I think that Oscar did have a moment there, but in any event, it's going to be some damage for these guys, and that's not very helpful here with that 100% damage here on Monday night. So they will be slow on track as a result.
Back out front here, that gap that Joe LaCour had, it looks like he may have made a mistake, as the gap now between Joe LaCour and Nieto is under half a second. So Joe LaCour on the hard. On the softs, and Nieto on the hards. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, that could easily be the soft tires going off. This is about the time that they will do it. So, in fact, Ian Jolicoeur will probably be looking to pit here in just another 5 or 6 laps, honestly. So, those softs are going to start to go off just that quickly. And I think Luis Nieto will have a real shot to take over the lead of this race. Boy, where is Moses gone?
He has
7.
Yeah. As Houston now sets fast lap of the race with the 37.3.
I have no idea who picked Houston to win this race, but somebody must have.
So he is on a charge here. And he is quickly reeling in Nieto.
Yeah, and he's going to pick up just chunks of time here as those two leaders really start to fight it out for that position. He'll be right there.
So he was about, after he got past Moses, he was a little over 4 seconds off the leaders. And that gap is now 1.7 seconds off of the leader, Joe LaCour. Wow, what
I tell you, Ian.
I'm telling you, Brad, that's a bold pick, and he's looking good here early on.
You know, the way it sets up, John, this is really John Houston's type of race, kind of the way things are setting up and his style, as it has been the last couple seasons. I mean, look, and John Houston is there now. Some of us might remember him as somebody, kind of mid-packer, but no more. And when strategy comes into play, when everything is happening out there on track, John Houston seems to find a way to pick the right thing to do at the right time. So he's in a good spot right now.
Just picked up a battle here that was, I believe, for 17th between Ivy and Kirkbride. So I think those two might have had a little coming together. As Jack now back at 18th and Kevin behind him. Another Kevin here, Kevin Savoy, qualified up in the top 5, I believe, and now he was back at 16th, putting a lot of pressure here on Kevin Savoy and Curtis Chandler. Chuck Carter. I'm sorry, Savoy putting the pressure on Chuck Carter and Kurt Chandler. Carter, take a look on the inside of Kurt. Nothing there though, go ahead.
Yeah, as we watch that battle unfold. Yeah, as we watch these guys battle, the guys on the softs, they have those wear rate issues. That's one thing. Another thing is the heat. So this track is generating quite a bit of heat in those softs, and if you do get those tires overheated, boy, the loss of grip is sudden and complete. So that is another worry right now for some of these guys on the softs.
So if I'm not mistaken, Houston also on the softs, correct?
John Houston also on the softs, but managing them quite well to this point, I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Now Parsons putting the pressure on Chris Moses. This is for 7th.
So, look, the guys on the hards are going to have that pit stop advantage. So Chris Moses he's got to be thinking, well, I'm not out of this thing just yet, but at the same time, boy, he's on the back foot, I would say, at this moment.
Parsons on the inside, and he's going to get he's going to get that pass made. So Moses drops another position. His teammate, after his rocky start, has worked his way up to 4th. Kevin Miller now. When would you think you'd hear this? Kevin Miller putting the pressure on Ronnie Nunez here for 5th.
Wow. And these guys keep making me jump back into the pits to look at the tire selections. Calling all John Ludens to the broadcast app and tire selection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin.
Looking up front here real quick. Looks like Houston might have made a mistake. He's falling back now 3 seconds to the leader. So back on board with Kevin Miller. This battle for 5th between Miller and Ronnie Nunez. Working lap 9 of 35. The guys on the hards, I suspect. I don't know if these guys on the hards are going to be able to double stint. Some may. Typically, you'll see these guys run right around the halfway point, maybe lap 17 or 18, and then come in for their pit stop. But soft tires, now is about the time you may expect these guys to come in if they're going to two-stop. Maybe around lap 12. Ooh, as Kevin Miller nearly gets into the back of Ronnie Nunez, and wow, had to check up, and that really unsettled the car. So Miller's going to fall back to 8th. Tough break for Kevin. I don't think he made contact with Nunez. He may have, but that was really close. And now Lithgow is going to put some pressure on him. Meanwhile, this battle up here for 15. Kevin Savoy has gotten past Chandler and Chuck Carter. Chuck Carter now trying to put some pressure on Curtis. Jack Ivey with a mistake, and Gomez is up. He's checked out of this race. So Jack Ivey with a little bit of an off has allowed Kevin to get past. 12th between John Wathen and Jonathan Cuppet. Cuppet qualified, I believe, in the top 5 and is now running back in 13th. So I'm not sure what happened to Cuppet there at the start of this one. He may have a run on Wathen here going into turn 1. Wathen heavy on the brakes. Wow. He gave that one away to Cuppet. Was feeling the heat. Couldn't get the car checked up in time, and Cuppet said, thank you. Just cruised right past him.
Okay, so so Ian did come into the pits, or is my timing not caught up yet?
Do not believe, no, Ian still out on track, has yet to pit. But that window, no doubt, is open for him, as he looks to be fighting the car quite a bit here late in the late stages of this one. Late stages of this first stick. Still maintaining a second and a half lead over Nieto.
Yeah, it looks like it's sorted itself now after coming back in. So looking now at Chris Moses, though, I think that perhaps those tires are starting to go off for the softs guys. Chris Moses, after Aaron Parsons gotten past, is really starting
Parsons
to
is in.
To Aaron Parsons. Yeah. Yeah, and I think his tires were really just starting to go off if you're Aaron Parsons.
Should be a quick stop here for Aaron. He is away. Parsons completes his stop, comes out in 16th. So makes
16th.
Makes the softs last 12 laps.
It was 26 seconds. So if you're looking, Moses will need to have about 27 seconds in hand when he makes his one and only stop, just for means of comparison.
Looks like Houston's fallen off a bit. He is now nearly 6 seconds off of Joe LaCour, who is in the lead, and he's starting to, as Matt Taylor's starting to close up on Houston. Houston coming into the pits. So T-Brock Dambam looking like those guys on the same strategy as Houston stayed out 1 lap longer than his teammate. So a little slash next to the person's name indicates that the pit stop has been made and the number is in blue, meaning they are in the pits. And who else is coming in there? That is like that is Kevin Miller into the pits.
So Kevin Miller in.
Greg Myers
from a
in.
good spot. It is back onto the sauce for Aaron Parsons and teammate John Houston.
So following our leader, Joe LaCour. Wow. Has to be open for him right now. Gotta suspect he'll be coming in this next lap or two.
Yeah, I would think so, but I gotta tell you, I'm so impressed with this drive. I did not think Ian Joe LaCour would be able to stay out front, let alone maintain that gap that he has had over Louis Neto. I'm very impressed. Ian Joe LaCour got it figured out very quickly.
He is staying out, coming up on some lap traffic. I believe that's Jack Ivey. Jack lets him past. So Houston rejoins in 7th after his stop. His teammate now back in 13th. yellow flag there in the first sector, but
boy, I mean, you know, if Ian can make it another 3 or 4, we have to, 3 or 4 laps, that's, you know, that's halfway. So why not go ahead and take another set of softs? I mean, if you can get away with it. I didn't think there'd be any way, obviously. This might have a little bit to do with Nieto's weight ballast as well.
that's true. That's true. As Kevin said, well, we just saw him rocket past Jonathan Cuppett. So Savoie, who was as far back as 16th or 17th, has worked his way back up to 9th now. So yeah, interesting circumstances here. But Joe LaCour, it looks like he's going to make him work. I don't see him. Well, if anybody can make it work, it's him. He seems to be able to do things that a lot of guys wouldn't typically do. So
yeah, the problem typically for Ian Joe LaCour is he does not tend to get a lot of practice time. So though he's of course very fast, sometimes he can put in very good qualifying efforts and then struggle during the race. I thought that we were going to see that again, but it hasn't happened. So, I mean, good on Ian.
Well, that might. Looks like it's working to his benefit. Sometimes if you practice too much, and you wouldn't make a call like this.
Yep. Well, some news and notes here for our Kevin Kirkbride fans. It looks like he is not, I won't say struggling, still in a direct fight for position there, but it is for the 19th position at the moment, still fighting with Jack Ivey back there. So Kevin Kirkbride, it's a tough crowd around here at NAGP, jumping in for the first time, getting your feet wet. I think Kevin is showing actually very well for himself here tonight out.
Yeah, not the easiest car to jump into and run in your first race here, so definitely a challenge. As we're watching Houston and Oscar Lithgow, Houston put a lot of pressure on Oscar. Yeah, you know, if you're Luis Nieto on the hards, following Joe LaCour, you got to be wondering what the heck is going on here. How is he making these softs work? Shouldn't he have pitted a couple laps ago?
Yeah, well, you know, at some point you got to kind of go, okay, well, I guess I better go ahead and get my work done because this guy ain't coming into the pit. So, and Lewis will figure that out here directly, and we'll see if he has an answer or not. So far, he doesn't.
Well, the answer might be move on to the soft tires for your second stint, and go for it.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I tell you, I think this is a track where these strategies are something that were prepared for and practiced by the teams a bit to run the softs or the hards. Changing it midstream, if you are kind of practiced at one option or the other, might be a little difficult.
Good battle here between John Houston and Oscar Lithgow. Houston has pitted, Oscar has not.
Yeah, and it will be softs, of course, again for John Houston. I don't think we've seen this completely play out yet because we still have not seen the stoppers come in from the hards, and we should be seeing that here just in a lap or two. We'll get a lot of definition here on how this strategy is going to play out.
Well, going back to Joe LaCour, I mean, you gotta, if you're Nieto, you gotta be wondering how come I'm not picking up time on this guy. His softs should be wearing out. You know, this is about the time when the hards should be probably near or at their best.
Well,
it's not happening.
I'm kind of sitting here wondering the same thing. So.
This battle here between Marty and Kevin. Looks like Kevin has picked up another spot, getting past Marty Uren. Marty back in 9th. A nice top 10 run so far from Marty. Be his best result of the season if we can keep it going. Oh, Peanut Gangster in the house. Nice.
Peanuts in the house.
Joe
when we saw that.
Sorry, bro. This battle for the lead has tightened up a little bit here as Joe LaCour now still out there on lap 17. We're dealing with some lap traffic. Not sure if the tires may have just fallen off a cliff here. Ooh, big slide there from Ian. But Nieto putting the pressure on here now late in this first stint.
Yeah, when we saw that gap really come down there after 10 or 11 laps, I thought that Luis Nieto would have him pretty easily. So who knows? Maybe finally those softs are starting to pay their toll. But if you're Ian Jolicoeur, there's no reason you should have. As let's see, we line up for the pass right here. There's no reason not to take on the softs. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a look on the inside there from Nieto. That was really close there, but Jolicoeur looking at some traffic. Ooh, big move there. Some lap traffic. Yeah, ooh, some contact between the top two, hook and wheels. Wow.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, if you're Ian Jolicoeur here, it's really not life or death at this stage. And if you do happen to give up that position, you're not really hurt because you obviously have good pace there on Lotus. There, it looks like they're coming in.
They're coming into the pits, but both those guys are gonna have to get service. Taylor's gonna take over the lead here. They're gonna have to get service for some repairs, I would imagine. That contact's gonna hurt him a little bit.
It will cost some time in the pits, no question about it.
Ooh, Ronnie Nunez with looks like he dove in late. Ooh, great stop from Jolicoeur, and he comes out well ahead of Nieto. Jolicoeur rejoins in second. And that's puts Matt Taylor out front. You gotta wonder if Jolicoeur actually got that damage fixed if he even bothered.
Yeah, it's hard to say. He could have had less than Luis Nieto. It's a possibility.
Really quick stop for Ian. But that was a strange situation there. It had Lewis on his inside. He had a lap car on Ian's right in front of Ian, and Lewis went for it. And yeah, the two had some contact there, but none the worse for wear, as John Houston has beat out Luis Nieto in this pit stop cycle. So Houston comes in between Jolicoeur and Nieto. And I'll tell you what, that gap between Houston is all over the back of Ian Jolicoeur.
Yeah, well, of course, John Houston has made his stop. It is softs for John Houston. We know that it's also softs, of course, for Ian Jolicoeur, but John Houston does not have the weight that Luis Nieto has. So he may be able to make a run here at the end, but John Houston won't have another stop yet to make.
Going side by side down the front straight. And it's going to be... Oh, Ian taking it off into the gravel. That's going to allow Nieto to get past, and Houston moves out into the lead of this race. Wow is right. Unbelievable. Still 16 laps to go here. Let's see. Well, if you're John Houston, you just stay up. He pitted on what, lap 13? Yeah, it's going to be a tough, tall order, but that's true as well.
Who knows how much fuel he took? He might not have enough in the tank to get the rest of the way. I mean, if you're going to run the strategy on the softs, why are you going to take more fuel than you anticipate needing to stop with, right?
So Nieto come back out on the softs or on the hards?
Well, I got to check. That is a very good question. Luis Nieto is on the softs. It's on the softs out.
Wow. All right. Yeah, those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and we know that Luis Nieto will have enough fuel to go the distance.
Yeah, he certainly will. Parsons Well, we saw Parsons and Houston use this strategy at Interlagos as they did a two-stop strategy there. Paid off for Aaron after he got the win there. But not so sure if that's going to pay off for them this week. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, boy, it looks like, has Moses come in yet? He's surely pitted. It's not working out so great for Moses yet. I gotta wonder if Moses didn't pick up some damage there in that first stint as well that cost him some time.
Ball with Joe LaCour as he's trying to chase down Luis Nieto, running in second. Parsons has been hounding Ronnie Nunez here. A little surprised by Ronnie Nunez here tonight. Granted, he's running in fifth, but not sure if he didn't have time to prepare, if he just wasn't able to figure out the track here, the combination car track. But a little off in qualifying and a little off here in the race. Ooh, big moment there for Parsons as he nearly loses it. And granted, fifth. I think fifth isn't at all a bad position to be in, but.
No, I mean, look, we would expect to see Ronnie Nunez honestly fighting for the win here, or at least contending for it. So I think you're absolutely right. It has been, he hasn't been able to get as much preparation for this race as he would like. Yeah, so I think you're right, Al. You know, if you're one of those guys that run those softs, I think, and you stopped early, I think you are definitely on the back foot now. This is going to include Aaron Parsons, possibly John Houston, our leader, out there as well. So if you're those guys, I think you're starting to scratch your head, trying to find a way to reclaim some positions you may lose coming in for that second stop.
Nieto was able to close that gap up to under a second, but Houston stretching it back out a little bit here, but Nieto really hanging on to the back, not letting Houston get away with this one. If you're Luis Nieto, it's just you got to know that Houston pitted earlier than you did. He's on the softs, so it's just a matter of being patient here.
Yeah, it could just
walk into a win here.
Yeah, it could just be a matter of time. That's absolutely right. Again, you know, we'll see, and it's all still to play for. But hard to say. You know, some drivers are really astute at paying attention to some of that stuff. Aaron Parsons springs to mind. Guys like that generally will never get caught out with what their opposition is doing out there on track against them. Luis Nieto, honestly, I'm not sure how much some of these guys pay attention to that stuff or are locked into that.
So the top guys out front running in the 37s. Nieto, Houston in the 37s. LaCour. Moses with fast lap of the race, 36.7. So Moses looks like he's coming to life here late. And he just set that. So Moses, who is back in 8th, has set the best lap of the race so far.
And he has switched over to the soft side. Neglected to take a look at that, Al. So it is Chris Moses abandoning that strategy for the hards right away, jumping onto the softs.
So Matt Taylor, who pitted, might have been the last guy to pit, came out in 4th behind Joe LaCour. So you got to assume these guys have jumped on the softs.
Boy, well. Go ahead, Al, sorry.
No, I was just going to say the gap now between Nieto and Houston is nearly 2 seconds. So Houston really laying it down here. Parsons has been trying to get past Ronnie Nunez here for a number of laps. He's been able to close up the gap here near the final sector, but just unable to get past Ronnie. Evan Miller having a great run at 7. Go ahead.
No matter how it plays out with the strategy, what's going on, whatnot, and so forth, there is one hell of a battle going on for these podium positions. So just 12 laps to go here, and still everything yet to be decided.
Smalls is back in 8th. Quick rundown here. Oscar Lithgow in 9th. He's got Kevin Savoy chasing him down. Put a lap car in front of Lithgow. Lithgow is going to get past. Jonathan Cuppett in 11th, followed by Greg Myers. Marty Uren behind him. I believe that's Jack behind Marty. John Watson back in 14th. His teammate right behind him in 15th. Curtis Chandler running in 16th. On the lead lap in the points. We haven't talked about Lou yet tonight, but Lou running in 17th. Kevin Kirkbride in 18th. He's made 2 stops. Jack Ivey in 19th also has made 2 stops. Sergio Calderon in 20th. And Gomez and David Rowley out of the race.
Well, confirmation now. John Houston into the pits for his second stop.
Yeah, so that's going to move Matt Taylor up to 3rd. And perhaps Ronnie Nunez and Parsons is into the pits. So that's going to take the wind out of the sails for those guys. Ooh, as Houston comes out right behind Ronnie Nunez. So Houston's going to try and pick up where his teammate left off and put the pressure on Ronnie. Moses gets past Parsons. Parsons still in the pit lane. Really long stop, it seems, for Aaron. And he is away. He's going to rejoin in 10th. So, 2-stop strategy, not the way to go tonight.
You know, and I think that on balance, those were the only 2 guys to get caught out. I think they stuck to their guns. They came in early, so early where they just couldn't make it on fuel. They didn't take enough to complete the event, and there you go. So tough break for our championship team leading T-Brock Dam Bam. Oh, no, I'm sorry, second to PMR, of course. My mistake there. So a mistake for them tonight.
Great battle here between Kevin Savoy and Oscar Lithgow. Savoy has been all over the back of Oscar. Oscar having a great run here today. Had a great run last week at Monaco, finishing in 5th.
Yeah, he sure did, and I think as we've seen Oscar Lithgow here over the last season or 2, still a relative newcomer here to NAGP. You just have to be continue to be impressed here by his racecraft. So, yeah, absolutely right. He is establishing himself as a top-tier driver around here, no doubt.
Anybody out there interested in racing here on Monday nights? Still some spots available. Check out NorthAmericanGP.com. Hit the join now button. There's a thread there for the Monday Formula Lotus League. Let us know you're interested and we'll get you hooked up and on track. It's a lot of fun in these cars. Certainly a challenge week after week to drive these things.
Oh, absolutely right. And I tell you who's having a lot of fun right now is Monty Python's Racing. So those guys currently running 1 and 4th here as they run on track, and they are doing some serious damage to those teams above them in that classification. So very nice race thus far from Monty Python's Racing.
John Houston having a look on the inside of Ronnie Nunez. Houston on the softs, low on fuel. Certainly not, most likely not carrying as much as Ronnie. But it's just an assumption there.
Well, we've seen John Houston have legitimate pace. He is as fast as anyone else out on track, and as mentioned, Ronnie Nunez a little bit off tonight. So you have to think that it is advantage John Houston, but we'll see. It's a tough track to get the pass done on.
What a great battle between these two. Kevin Miller feeling the heat from Jonathan Cuppet. So Cuppet, another two-stop. I'm sorry, Miller, another two-stopper here tonight. Greg Myers, Watson, two-stopping. So, yeah, so T-Brock definitely not the only guys to run that strategy here tonight.
Too bad for Cuppet after that very fine qualifying effort that he had made to be shown back there in 11th, but nonetheless still running right there toward the top 10. No small feat.
Yeah, he's going to be a little disappointed with where he's running now, but just outside the top 10, so it's a good opportunity for Cuppet to finish well. Back out front here. Well, sorry, battle for fourth between Houston and Nunez. Ooh, is that Moses into the pits?
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oops. Well, that has got to be for a fuel miscalculation.
Yep, that's got to be it.
Wow. Boy, the hits keep coming if you're Moses, and boy, this was a season where he was starting to look back on form, Al, after putting in a very fine team effort last season. I mean, just dominating fashion, but in terms of wins and podiums, maybe not where he would usually like to be during the season. Looking good to start this season, but here this race a bit off it with, it's got to be said.
Comes out just ahead of Kevin Miller and Cuppet, those two. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how that shapes up. This battle for fourth. Keeping an eye now for the lead here as Joe LaCour has reeled in Luis Nieto. The gap was 3 seconds. Now it's down to 1 second between these two.
Yeah, coming down, no doubt, and precipitated a little bit by lap traffic, but I think Ian Jolicoeur has really got the bit between his teeth now, and as these laps wear on, Ian Jolicoeur is going to get more and more practice. Again, a guy typically short on practice is going to get faster as the race wears on. We're seeing just that.
Looks like Kevin Kirkbride into the pits for the third time.
Uh-oh.
But Joe LaCour, that gap now under a second.
Boy, and I tell you, Matt Taylor is lurking. He has not given up any time at all to those guys here in the last 6 or 7 or 8 laps. Probably even coming down a little bit.
No, he's actually picked up some time on these guys, so now 5 seconds off the leader.
Boy, just some 7 laps.
Kevin Miller was putting some pressure on Moses. It still is. Lipkow now putting pressure on Aaron Parsons. That's for 7th. Ooh, it looks like Moses has made a mistake and now is back in 11th.
Wow. Yeah, it's coming unraveled.
Yeah, coming unglued. Working lap 28 of 35.
I tell you, Ian Jolicoeur has really got this place figured out now, and Luis Nieto, I believe, is really struggling with those 25 kilograms of success ballast.
This is for the lead. Jolicoeur looking on the inside. Tough couple of last 2 laps for Nieto in the 39s. Jolicoeur running solidly in the 38s. Almost a full second quicker than Nieto.
If Ian can stay patient enough here to wait for that little mistake, I think that it's Ian's race now to lose. But if he gets a little over-aggressive, a little impatient here, it could come to a bad end for these guys.
Yeah, they had a close call there last run there at the turn 1. Ooh. Nieto doing a little lawn mowing. Peanuts back. Nice.
Excellent. Well, we saw, of course, Luis Nieto start on the hards, and he switched over to the softs, so he's not going to have the type of information here late in the stint on how those softs are going to react. And I tell you, I think on top of that weight is he is struggling with those tires and lost of grip a little bit. Boy, Matt Taylor really closing in now, Al, from third.
Yes, this battle for the front is really helping out Taylor. Savoie now has worked his way up to 6. Parsons has gotten past Lithgow. Let's see, Ian had a great run on Nieto here last time around. Let's see what he can do. He's really close.
Yeah, he should be able to get it done.
So the lead is going to be Jolicoeur. Going to take over the lead here into turn 1. Oh, big slide from Jolicoeur. He hangs on to it. Yeah, I don't think Nieto can just maintain that pace that Jolicoeur's been setting the last few laps.
No.
Taylor now under 3 seconds off the leader. Jolicoeur's been in this situation many times in the past, so he's not going to fold under this pressure from Nieto.
No.
Meanwhile, Matt Taylor lurking there in the shadows. Got a lap car just ahead. Oh! Picked up the tail end of that. Somebody went off.
Now it looked like Sergio Calderon did not hurt Matt Taylor's pace coming through turn 9. That gap under 3 seconds.
The last 4 laps for Nieto in the 39, so last lap, 39 flat for Ian. 39.9. Taylor, meanwhile, running a couple laps ago, ran in the 37s, running a low 38. So Taylor's got the bit between his teeth. I think that's how the saying goes. I don't know.
Whoa! Oh, okay. I thought that was Ian Jolicoeur. That was somebody in front. Chuck Carter had a big slide.
Cuppett now putting the pressure on Moses. This is for 10th. Nice battle here between these 3. Miller, Moses, and Cuppett. Lead over Jolicoeur over Nieto now stretching out to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, Chuck Carter got caught in a bad spot there as lap traffic. Luis Nieto did have to check it a little bit to try to get by, allowing Matt Taylor those extra precious seconds.
Meanwhile, John Houston has made his way past Ronnie Nunez. Nieto now coming under pressure from Matt Taylor. That's for 2nd. I suppose it's going to be desperate to get past Kevin Miller here. It's going to be a tough result for him.
Yeah, if you're Chris Moses, you need to salvage every point you can at this point. Let's not forget Matt Taylor and Chris Moses leading this team classification, so they don't want to be giving up too many points.
Checker lap 31, just 4 laps to go. I got my eye on the leaders here as Moses tries to get past Kevin Miller for 9th. Well, let's take it out to this battle for 2nd between Taylor and Nieto.
Yeah, it's all right there. It's all right there now for Matt Taylor. I think if you're Luis Nieto, you don't defend this position too aggressively, but at the same time, you definitely want to finish 2nd as opposed to 3rd, no question.
Ooh, nice run from Taylor there. Out of turn 6. Meanwhile, Joe LaCour's going to be loving this battle. Ooh, it looks like Taylor's going to get it done.
Wow. Boy, Matt Taylor's showing such great pace. Let's see if he makes it to the corner first. Looks like he will. I don't know, 2.5 seconds is going to be enough time for him. Probably it shouldn't be, but boy, Matt Taylor is on a mission.
Yeah, he's running a few tenths quicker than Ian out front. Last couple laps for Ian in the 39 flat. Taylor 38.9 his last time by.
Well, as that gap comes down, Ian Jolicoeur may start to watch those numbers, and that'd be the biggest benefit Matt Taylor can have. I don't think lap-to-lap paces are showing Matt Taylor can get it done, but maybe he can get in Ian's kitchen a little bit. You can see those times start to drop.
Moses still desperate to get past Kevin Miller here. Miller doing a great job holding on to that spot. Run out of this final corner here. Looks like he might be really close to Kevin down this front straight. Moses is going to have a look on the inside. Ooh, who's that coming out of the pits? That's Nunez. Some contact. Whoa, that cut off Moses. So Nunez, yeah, Moses was in a pickle there. I don't know what he could have done. Moses, Comfort gets by Moses. Moses rejoins in 10th. Wow. Meanwhile, out front, it is Matt Taylor putting the heat on Joe LaCour. Under a second now, the gap between the leaders.
Well, I got to tell you, I didn't think Matt Taylor would be able to close the gap that quickly. Lap traffic has not played a role. Ian Jolicoeur, big slide there going into the last corner.
2 to go.
But 2 to go, and it's full defense time now if you're Ian Jolicoeur. So I don't know if Matt Taylor's going to be able to find a way past cleanly, but at this stage of the race, you do what you can to keep the other driver behind, no matter who you are, if it's for the win.
Lap car gets out of the way of the leaders.
Yeah, Kevin Savoie.
Last season's Drivers' Champion, Matt Taylor, trying to make his way past Ian Jolicoeur with 2 laps to go, a lap and a half to go. Ian defending on the inside.
That's right. Had a big advantage coming off the last corner last time, did Matt Taylor, but is he going to think about doing it a little earlier here at the chicane?
Oh, it's going to be Taylor getting past. He does.
Wow.
Taylor jumps out to the lead here as Joe LaCour defending on the inside, just got it a bit wrong into the chicane. Taylor takes over the lead with a lap to go.
Wow. Well, we've seen Matt Taylor in this position before, and bad things have happened.
Well, I think Taylor certainly has stepped up his game here. He's certainly matured. I don't think he's going to get frazzled by any means at this point, but we'll see. Still some time left here.
We certainly hope not. It is Luis Nieto also having come into the pits, Al, so both those guys, Ryan Nunez and Luis Nieto, that soft strategy, they were on it too. They just got their fuel a little wrong. Oh, and Joe, almost threw it off.
So what a battle here late. So Taylor quickly pulling away from Joe LaCour. Wow, what a run. Lithgow, Parsons with a great run. Lithgow, another top 10 finish for him. So through the chicane for the last time for Taylor. Joe LaCour not going to be able to answer. Unreal. He was able to manage that gap.
Yeah.
And really close it out here in the final few laps to take the win here at Zandvoort. Joe LaCour with a second place finish. John Houston going to finish on the podium in third. Looks like Luis Nieto's going to hang on to fourth. Parsons is going to finish in the top 5 and lose some weight in the process. Oscar Lithgow going to come home in 6th. Meanwhile, it's Kevin Miller, Nunez, and Moses 8th, 9th, and 10th. Followed by Cuppet. Uren is going to finish here in 11th. Sounds like Marty might be out of gas here for a second. In the first time Marty got his fuel wrong. Greg Meyer's going to finish in 12th. Carter with a nice run in the points. And then finally it's going to be Kurt Channel, last car on the lead lap. Going to back out of here, save the replay, and talk to our winner. Matt Taylor, do you copy?
I got you guys.
Man, what a great drive for you tonight. Outstanding finish there at the end. Nice battle between you and Ian. And tell you what, you started off, you qualified well, but kind of shuffled back there at the start of the race, and you just, put your head down and made your way up through the field. And that pit stop late, came out on the softs, and really put down some great laps to close up on the Nieto and Joe LaCour. And man, what a great battle there at the end. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I bogged it down really bad. I had a longer first gear on the car, and as soon as that happened, I thought I was in trouble. I got to apologize to Ronnie. I made too aggressive a move and got into him. Hopefully it didn't hurt him too bad. I think it probably did, but once I got around him, I discovered some practices last weekend that the soft tire wasn't too bad on a longer stint, but you had to be able to drive around the tire. You couldn't spin the tire or slide it, or you take too much wear. And so I really focused on kind of getting the setup and getting myself to where I wasn't overdriving the car too badly. The self-inflicted damage definitely hurt in the first stint. Wore the tires a little faster than I wanted. Ended up I felt pretty good after that first pit stop as far as gap went, but I ran softs both stints, and that was the hardest drive I've ever had.
Wow, well, that was very much unlike your teammate who, of course, started on the hards. He did slip back, recovered a little bit, but I'm wondering just just before those pit stops, sitting in, fourth or third or fifth, not looking too bad, but with guys in front and maybe wondering about the pace, just what did you think your chances were before those stops took place? Because it looked to me like you were a little bit on the outside looking in at that point.
No, absolutely. I felt that way, and I knew the second stint I was probably going to have to push harder than I wanted to. Came out about 9 seconds back. Felt like that was maybe going to put it out of reach, but it seemed like they battled each other really hard, or something happened, and kind of like I described earlier, they wore the tires out. And coming down with about 8-7 to go, I was able to start clicking off maybe a second a lap, trying to be disciplined in the lines I was taking. And once I got within about 3 seconds, I felt really confident that I was going to be able to get them both. And sure enough, their tires let loose 1 lap before mine did, and that was the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly made up a lot of time there. The last 5 laps, you were running much, about a second quicker than Joe LaCour and Nieto. So you think that was just a matter of not overdriving the car, pretty much?
Yeah, I think so. I think they came out close enough together that they maybe pushed each other harder. Maybe they didn't have that much practice on a full stint with the softs to really felt how they were, especially at the end, because you hit lap 17, 18 on the stint. Tires were at 100% wear. They're completely gone, and you're going to give up 3.5, 4 seconds on those last 2 laps, even if you can drive the car well. So if you're not prepared for that, it's going to hurt you even more.
Well, certainly an impressive run here tonight for you, Matt, and a little tough break for your teammate after getting on pole, but I'm sure he'll bounce back next week. So speaking of next week, we'll be at Paul Ricard. Not sure if you've managed to run any laps there prior to the start of the season, but pretty high-speed circuit. What do you think? How do you think your chances are going to be with that added weight?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see on that, I guess. It seems like we've had a few tracks where the car doesn't really mind the weight. This is going to be about trying to drive around that and maybe finding a different strategy again that other guys aren't running.
Well, congratulations again, Matt. Big night for you guys, and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, there you have it, Brad. What a great race tonight, yet again. And those guys really pushing the limits on the soft tires. It looks like Matt really managed them better than anybody else.
Boy, he sure did, and that strategies and the way the differing strategies played out made the race extremely interesting, and the action on track itself with the position changes was fascinating too. And I think the most remarkable thing, the takeaway for me from the race, was that the team standings and how they changed wildly in like the last 5 or 6 laps. It looked like Monty Python's Racing is up there, and they're going to pick up a lot of points on their rivals, but both those guys pitted late. Chris Moses struggling late, put PMR back, but then Matt Taylor wins and gets on the pole, and as a result of Monty Python's Racing coming in, T-Brock Dam Bam, they pick up more points, and so things really drastically changed in those last 5 or 6 laps, and as a result of all that, the points get shooken up once again. But yeah, very interesting race on all fronts, and just looking forward to more of it next week at Paul Ricard.
Yep, so we'll be back next week, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, from Paul Ricard. If getting texted. So join us. Definitely join us next week at 9 from Paul Ricard for round 4. Till then, we're going to be at Thursday night at Imola in the GT cars for round number 3. So join Marty and John Watson for that broadcast. So it should be fun. But until next week, thanks everybody for tuning in, and thanks, Brad. See you guys next week.